So April was just devastating for my portfolio, and I lost more than 3,000 euros this month. At the beginning of the month, the US tariff war made the markets just dip like crazy, 15%, just within a few days. But luckily, the markets rebounded as most of the tariffs were just bluffs. On the positive note, European Central Bank decreased the rates by 0.25%, and analysts expect that this will continue this year. So just because the inflation in the EU is around 2%, so that's good because we're gonna be able to borrow money for cheaper. Now, personally, I got to say, it doesn't really feel like it. I went to buy a bread at the market this weekend, and it was a nice dark one, very delicious bread, but it was 7 euros for a bread. It was this size, but it's just crazy. Anyway, it's a rant for another day. Hello finance people, I'm Robert, and on this channel I talk about investing in personal finance from a European perspective. So let's jump into my portfolio tracker and I'll show you what has happened and what caused my losses. So first of all, I just want to take a look at how crazy this month was. So we started somewhere here, and this is the Vanguard FTSE All World ETF, and we have S&P 500 here. So yellow S&P 500 and the blue one is the World ETF, and you can see that after April 1st here, it was a crazy dip. You see here it dips really low, then it comes back, and by end of the month basically we came back to almost to the same level, not quite but almost there. So we definitely recovered. It was pretty big shock here. In 1-2 days we dropped by almost 15%, so it's been really crazy times. This kind of stuff, I mean, it happens time to time, maybe once a decade, but it's been pretty crazy. But let's take a look at my portfolio tracker, and I want to start with stocks. By the way, you can download this portfolio that you will see in this video. The link is in video description. I have 2 stocks left. I have Nokia and Microsoft. Nokia was down by 12% in April, whereas Microsoft was down by 3%. You can see I lost about 300 euros on Nokia and 50 euros with Microsoft. Nokia was up to, I think, almost 5 euros at some point. Oh yeah, it started the month at 5 euros, but because of the tariff wars, obviously they're impacted. Their business, US is a big business, big business country for them. Whereas if they can't do business there, then it's a bit of a problem. I still believe in the company. I have a bit of bias just because I'm from Finland, so I have that's something I'm just holding to it just because of that. Microsoft is not doing that well right now, but I did buy it at 220, around that, so I'm well above where we started. So it's not a big deal. This just happens. This is just a volatile time in the market. So next, if we take a look at the crypto. For crypto, I only have one asset left. I sold in the beginning of the year, or actually at the end of the last year, I sold my Bitcoin and Ripple. And I have left the BNB coin, and right now, this month, it was 6% down, so that's about 90 euros in the minus. Not really much about crypto right now because I'm out of it, but Bitcoin did a really great rally right now. If you take a look at Bitcoin price, I thought it was pretty cool how it's still keeping up there. If we take a look here, so it dipped quite low here to 68,000, but now it's come back to 83,000. Actually went as far as 86,000. So yeah, things might happen with Bitcoin. I think people expected more from Trump administration, but not much has happened on that side. So let's see where it takes us. So peer-to-peer lending, this one is running like a train right now. It's a bit higher than usual, especially Mintos. I think this is because I've made some referrals. So somebody has used my link and signed up for Mintos, and then I got a bit of money because of that, because usually it's around somewhere between around 30 euros per month. That's what I'm getting from Mintos, but this month it was much higher, so that's why I need to check why it's happening, but I think that's the cause for it. Other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't have anything that I've lost money on it yet. There are some delayed payments, especially with Mintos, but I think it was around like the long delays were about 30 or 60 euros, something like that. So I'm not too concerned yet. Let's see if they actually they just insolvent and they can't pay. So then in that case, I might have a bit of a loss there. But overall, I'm around 10% per year. That's the return on investment that I'm having. And I've been with them more or less now 2 years with Mintos and 1.5 years with Esketit, and pretty happy with what I have here. For now, I don't think I'll increase it, although at some point I did think about it because it's so volatile right now with the stocks, but I have to still think if I'm going to actually do anything about it. Then the next one is ETFs, which is the biggest part of my portfolio. And if we take a look at here, we have VUSA and this CSPX. Basically, both of these are S&P 500, and I have a lot of them. You can see here I had 32,000 in VUSA and 6,000 in the CSPX. The other why I changed is that VUSA is actually distributing, whereas this one is accumulating. So that's why I changed. I'm only investing in this one right now. I also have a bit of world ETFs, so maybe right now, because of how US is behaving basically with the Trump administration, I might move a bit of more money to the world ETFs. That said, I think somewhere between 60 to 70% of world ETF is still in the S&P 500. So you're not actually moving away from US. You need to buy an ETF that excludes US. Then maybe you can sort of hedge your investments against that. If things go bad in the US, you're not going to suffer as much. In any case, if we take a look, this is where my main losses came from. You can see that 2,200 here, a couple hundred here, 400 here. So quite a lot of losses, 3,000 just in April. It really hurts because it does take time to actually gain these 3,000. There have been months that maybe it's been close, but still, it takes a long time to gain this money. So, but this is just part of investing, and if you don't react to it, it's not gonna matter within the next 5 years, so, or even 10 or 15. So I'm not worried. However, it does hurt looking at it like this. And hey, if you are a beginner to investing and want to get started with long-term investing without feeling all the, just overwhelmed by all of it, check out my Investing Fast Track workshop. It's specifically designed for people living in Europe, and we will cover things like strategies, brokers, and gonna touch a little bit on taxes. The link is in the video description down below. So then if I look at this overall, you see that I have 3,200 in the minus. That's 5.5%. Probably the second worst month I ever had. Before that, the worst was, I think, February. February, I think for me was even worse. I think it was 7% or something like that in the minus. So 2 months that completely erased all the gains I had this year and maybe at the end of the last year. But so if I compare this number to S&P 500, which was 1% down, it is a bit, it raises questions. Why is it happening? Obviously, I have some stocks that lost money and a bit of crypto that lost money, but mostly I think it's happening because of euro is getting stronger compared to dollar, so that also has influence because I'm obviously buying these ETFs in euros, but then the underlying assets, especially for VUSA, is in dollars, so that has, the currency risk is there, so that's why you're seeing it here. Some months it's the opposite. Let's say the S&P 500 is down by 5%, whereas in my case it would be just 1%. Really, in the long term, it should even out, as long as the euro and dollar stay roughly, balanced in terms of their value to each other. It's just a month that I would like to forget, but then again, it's also nice to make these videos in the bad times because I feel like it's not very honest when, we've had a crazy good run for last year and a half, 2 years. It's been only, every month almost in the green. It just didn't feel like it's real investing, whereas real investing will have periods that are really miserable. And this might continue for some time, but you just need to believe in the long term that we will come out of this, and then the markets will keep wanting to make more money. So it's just a nice reminder that it's not always just, a bull market. We're gonna have also those bad times, and you just need to be mentally prepared for it. Now, investing while we have such a volatile times right now is really hard. You have a constant fear of that you will either lose money or you miss the next rally. That's why I created this video right here, where I'll introduce you to the only investment strategy you will ever need for long-term investing.